Well, I'm so excited to be here with Chris Sholar. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let me introduce Chris, and then we'll dive in. We'll listen to the "I Am Everything" song that we're going to focus this specific episode on, and then we'll get into it a little bit more. So let me introduce Chris, because Chris is amazing, and I'm going to read some of your bio. So, Grammy award-winning music producer and composer Chris Sholar is one of the most in-demand guitarists in the world of R&B and hip hop music. He has worked with the top names in the music industry, a diverse range of artists from Stevie Wonder to Snoop Dogg. He's performed everywhere from concerts at Carnegie Hall to arenas at Glastonbury to the NFL Super Bowl Gala. And if you go to his website, he's got a reel with even more of the songs that he put on there with people like John Legend and Yeba and Kanye, and the list goes on and on. It's awesome and impressive. Over the past 20 years, Chris has recorded, performed, and toured with countless artists, including Beyonce, Whitney Houston, and A Tribe Called Quest. He's a two-time Grammy Award winner from his collaborations with Jay-Z and Esperanza Spalding. And Chris's music has been featured on some of the top TV networks and brands like New York Fashion Week, New Balance, Dodge Dart, ESPN, New York Knicks, let's go Knicks, BET, VH1, MTV. He also has music in mega films such as Safe House starring Denzel Washington and The Great Gatsby starring Leonardo DiCaprio. As an educator, Chris has had the opportunity to be a guest facilitator teacher at prestigious institutions such as Harvard University, Carnegie Hall, and TEDx. Chris is a 2023 Creative Capital Wild Futures Art Culture Impact Awards recipient. Creative Capital awarded 50 groundbreaking projects comprising 66 individual artists focused on technology, performing arts, and literature, as well as multidisciplinary and socially engaged forms. Chris is recognized for his ability to create intersections of music, technology, and the human experience, which is what we're going to talk about today, that deeply resonate and challenge audiences to see the world in new ways. In recent years, Chris has been exploring the healing power of music and meditation, fusing the intersection of beats, soundscapes, and positive affirmations. We're going to talk about those sonic affirmations. His diverse musical experiences and interests result in a fresh, unique take on meditation music, which he calls frequency journeys. Chris now considers himself a soundscape artist who creates musical scores for meditative and spiritual experiences. He is now sought after for his ability to hold sacred space in live performances. Amen, brother. That is awesome.
Thank you.
How do you feel about hearing your own accomplishments, your own, your life so far professionally in that way?
It's interesting to hear because you've been living it. So, when you listen to your bio, you hear all the highlights. Oh, he did this, he did this, he did this, and my mind goes to the valleys, the highs, and the lows. So yeah, I got a chance to do that. I got a chance to play here at Carnegie Hall, or I'm a professor here teaching here, but I took years learning. These are the doors that were closed. Maybe I can. It would be interesting to read bios of the things that didn't happen, of the chances that you missed, or the things that didn't work out that you wanted to work out. So I am so grateful for hearing the things that did work out. I feel blessed for the people that I got to work with. I feel blessed for my career. I'm very grateful and humbled by it. But that's what I hear when I hear it back. I'm like, and it needs to be updated, some more. But just it's highs and lows. It's not all highs. It's not an Instagram reels of just knocking it out the park all the time. Even though I've been very fortunate and blessed to work with some great people.
I love that. It's so honest. Like that part of you is so honest where maybe I'll start the trend. I'll put a bio out of all my mistakes, all my failures, all the times I got fired or it didn't work out and have that side by side because it's real, man. Everybody goes through that
Story,
stuff.
right, right.
And those are actually, as you know, those challenges, those experiences, those struggles, those times where you're like, am I any good, or why doesn't this person want this, or whatever, are the times that we forge our faith, forge our conviction, find our own unique voice. So they're so
That,
important.
yeah, and they carry much weight. They forge who we are. They made us who we are just as well as the accomplishments. But the bio is like, just tell all of the amazing stuff. Put that forward. So
What a great way to start. So, at the Sound of Healing, we focus on songs that we play in our Revelation Breathwork community in our classes online with people all over the world. And personally, for me, they're songs that I play songs that I deeply connect with and that I think are very healing. And there's a lot of different songs that can bring healing from. We play like Rage Against the Machine. You can have a lot of healing from Rage Against the Machine, and you can have a lot of healing with other kinds of music that people probably think of more traditional healing music and songs that I think would change the world if people experience them. And so your song "I Am Everything," and not just this one. We're focusing on just this one today, but we've played "Let Go," we've played "I Am Supported," we've played "Heal." I mean, I'm going to craft a playlist of just your music because it's so powerful, so deep. And so today we're going to focus on "I Am Everything," and we like to start off by playing the song and just to experience it together and get in the vibe. You ready?
Cool. Yeah.
All right.
I am everything I need. I have everything I need. I attract everything I need. I manifest everything I need. I become everything
So good. Oh my goodness. What's your experience of listening to that, to your music?
I love. Okay, so the story with that song is that was an affirmation I wrote for myself that I would walk to in the morning. So I've had that. I wrote that like 2 years ago, and I would just get up in the morning and do my walk. And this is something that I would say to myself to build myself up, to help me get through the week, to start my day off. If I'm going through something crazy, I'm saying I'm everything I need. I have everything I need. I attract everything I need. If I don't, I manifest everything I need. If I need to become, I need to become what I need. I create it. I align with it. I receive it. So this was something I'm saying to myself every day. And then one day, uh, literally a month before I came out, I was like, I should make a track, because it was kind of like I was saying it. I made an affirmation for myself where I was saying it, and it was just like a sound bowl, just it in the sound bowl. And I was like, when you're walking or you're in the gym, you want something with motion. So I'm like, I should challenge myself and do it like a house track. Let me do an affirmational house track. I haven't heard one of those. So it was, so when I listen back to it, I'm thinking of the experience, and it was like just a fun idea. Like, let me do it with something that I haven't done before. Normally I'm doing like meditation music and you're thinking of just, tuning out, but I'm like, it could be meditative and moving at the same time. It could be a vibe at the same time. It don't have to just be a sound bowl or just calm. It can still be empowering. It can still be affirmative. So that's what I feel when I listen to it. Like, I was just listening now, and I'm like, I like this one. I really like it.
I love that because once you said I created it as a meditation when I was walking, I'm like, that's where like that beat, that energy. Like now I want to listen to it and go for walks. Like, oh, you
Yeah,
got that movement, you got that energy,
yeah.
you're hearing those words. Every time you would say the affirmation, I would say yes, yes, yes. It just like boom brings you into alignment. And I want to point out something for the listeners and the viewers, which is after reading all the amazing things that you've been able to do, the people you've been able to work with, like the wonderful, fulfilling, beautiful life that you've had so far, you still use affirmations. Like you still need to remind yourself of these things. It's not like, oh, he doesn't need that because look what all he's done. It's like the journey continues. Can you share a little bit about that process too?
100%. Yes, I still need it every day. Yes, I have feelings. I'm human. Sometimes I'm down about things. Sometimes I have to write from that space. Sometimes I need empowerment. Sometimes I need encouragement. Sometimes I need support, which is, the songs that I'm creating is things that I needed. I wrote a song, I am supported, because sometimes I still need support. It doesn't matter the accomplishments that you had, those are only moments, but you still got a lot of life to live, and sometimes you're going to have high moments and sometimes you're going to have low moments. You're going to have moments where the doors are closed everywhere you go, and then you need something to yourself. I'm everything I need. I have everything I need. I manifest. I receive everything I need. I needed that for myself. Despite all the accomplishments that I can't just live in the past and look at what I've done. I still got a lot of life to live. So yeah, that's how I feel.
So there's a part of us that's like I have everything I need. I can become everything I need to become. So it's like affirming that. And if we're not listening to that voice and consuming that voice, what's the other voice that we have
Right.
inside?
I think we all know the other voice. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I can't do this. This is too difficult. You know, and what if I don't have enough to do what I need to do? Then I'd say I become everything I need. What if I don't see it? Well, I attract everything I need. Well, there isn't a door. Well, let me create everything I need. Sometimes it's just a matter of receiving everything. And then I also say I'm aligned with everything I need. So I try to look at every way for those negative voices that'll pop up, and I had to censor that's talking to you all the time, telling you that you can't, even though you know you can, but there's always something trying to make you feel like you can't do it. I mean, I think that's a very human emotion, the fear of failure. I think that's like what common amongst all of us. And people talk about being strong all the time, but like I started off, sometimes you're like, ooh, can I do this? I'm not sure. This is bigger than what I've ever done before. I'm scared. I actually never created a track like this. I never done a house track ever. This is my first. So even when I was saying, hey, I want to do it with the beat, I was like, oh, but you haven't done anything like that. You know, people know me from hip hop stuff, R&B stuff, playing guitar on other tracks, but I never created one for myself. So when they listen to this song and they listen to the next song, it'll be just sound bowls. And they're like, wait, the same guy made both of these, but it's like, yeah, I felt like this today. So
So like taking experimenting, the willingness to take risks, to take step outside your comfort zone, to do something that maybe you haven't done before and not know how it's going to work out, but the commitment to that I think is so huge
yeah,
in that as long as we're growing, and I think anyone who's attracted and drawn to this podcast and your music and my world is going to be interested in growing and expanding.
yeah,
You know, I read this great book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and it's got like the 5 principles of fear. And the first one is as long as you're alive and you're growing, you're going to feel fear. Like instead of being
yeah,
like, oh, well, there's something wrong with me, I'm afraid. No, it comes with the territory in a way.
yeah,
Um, and so I think what you're sharing is really powerful. And I didn't know that was your first house track. It goes great with Revelation Breathwork, as you know, that there's an activity in the breath. And so you get into
yeah.
that beat and you're breathing, and then you've got the Sonic Affirmations. I'm curious what your experience was. We had an opportunity to do a little bit of Revelation Breathwork together. What was your experience of that? And what was it like to breathe to this? This song was
Yes.
in your journey.
I love the Revelation Breathwork. But first, let me say it's exactly what the name says. So first, it is breath work. So I didn't know what to expect. So I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be light breathing. It's going to be more chills, more vibe. And I was working. I was laying there breathing, and it was a continual thing. I don't think I've tapped into my breathing like that before. At a consistent, staying consistent, staying consistent. And when I was experiencing it, there was a point of a breakthrough that happened through my whole body. And next thing you know, it's like tears. I'm not very much of a crier, but then it's like my eyes are starting to water up. I had never experienced anything like that. So for starters, it was breath work. It's exactly what it sounds like. It was working the breath through the body, letting it. And then the revelation came like when I'm listening to the song, and then I felt connected to my body, and I felt it's like how the energy flowed through me. And like at the end, I just felt so much lighter. Like breathing is so natural, you don't think about it. So when I first said I was going to do it, I thought it would be easier, for lack of a better term. Not that it was hard. It's not hard at all. But I just thought, oh, we're just gonna be breathing. You're in a yoga class. Do some light breathing. It's just gonna be more chill. But I was like, whoa, okay. Staying with it. It was an experience for me that It's like I want to gift that to somebody else to see how they feel afterwards, because when you feel yourself afterwards, how lighter you feel and how in tune with your body you feel. Even though we breathe every day, we may take for granted how easy it is to breathe. It's like one of the first things you do when you're born, you're breathing. So that's what I experienced with it. That was my experience. Not knowing what to expect, and then working through and working to a point of a real breakthrough.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I really just acknowledge you for showing up because sometimes it can bring up the uncomfortable things or can be a new experience. So just to stay there with yourself while things are happening inside it is such a courageous, beautiful act of self-love. So it was an honor
Yeah,
to hold that space. And that's the thing, your bio talks about holding space and sacred performances. Like that's what this work's about. The
yeah,
healing is not anything that a facilitator does. It's in the
right,
intention, it's in the space. And when you talk about, I think as men too, like I cry more in Revelation Breathwork than I do anywhere else because I think we're just holding so much. We don't even realize how much we're holding until we have the space to just kind of let it go. I
yeah,
brought Revelation Breathwork to the U.S. Navy SEAL base in Coronado in San Diego. 30 seconds in, Master Chief, 17-year Navy SEAL, bawling because
exactly,
we just hold so much, and especially in like society, you're not supposed to cry or show emotion
right.
or whatever. It's just like if you have a space to let it go, it can be like a huge weight lifted. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
just
that's the
want
revelation part where you're like, oh, okay.
yeah. Oh, here I am again without all the
Right,
stuff that I've been holding.
right, right.
Share with us because it's so awesome. I transitions and taking and answering a calling can feel so risky. And I want to say it sounds like you answered a call to not leave your former life as R&B and hip hop and the musician there, but to add to and to answer this call that maybe felt like a different world. What was that calling like? What was that transition or addition of what you were doing like? And then how did the R&B and hip hop world and people who knew you, like how did that change, shift, grow?
It was one step at a time. That it was a call, and you listening to the call and going, okay, this is different. And then the more you take steps toward the call of, man, I want to make, with me working with so many incredible artists, I'm playing guitar behind them, I'm producing, I'm working on the albums. But then it was a call to say, well, what if I did my own project, or what will I want to say? What do I want to put out in the world that's from me? What do I have? What is in my voice? Um, and that was you get comfortable playing behind an incredible artist, just playing guitar, working on, I like working on the tracks, being behind the scenes, but nobody necessarily know you. I'm not necessarily the front person. So it was, and answering the call for that was really embodying that I have something to say, and it's affirmative. And this is the message that I want to give to the world and to people that hear my music. You are supported. You have everything you need. You can create everything you need, even if you have this crazy resume, or even if you're into a new type of music that you haven't done before. So a lot of these songs was birthed out of me telling myself these things. So when I started doing them, what the transition was like was I started making affirmations for my friends, doing affirmations. Like I would have my friends do their affirmations on a voice memo, and I would score music and send it back to them and say, listen to this for a week. And then all of the responses were like, that was amazing. You got to do more of that. So my confidence started getting more built up. And then as I was doing all my friends and family members, then I was like, I can take another closer step closer to this thing that I don't know what it is, but the door is opening, it's guiding me this way. So let me just go. So that's why I said it was a step at a time, because I didn't run to it. I didn't pre-plan it at first. So far, everybody's been welcoming and warm. And now we have other, major hip hop artists doing it. Andre 3000 just came out with a flute album, a meditative type album. And when an artist like that does something, it brings more awareness, because he's well known and more people are open to listen to and say, okay, well, let me see. Because this guy is known as one of the greatest rappers, and he's doing a meditative flute album. Okay, so I've had the same type of response, like, oh, I know you for this, but let me listen to what you would do. And the response has been overwhelmingly positive, which I'm very grateful for. But at the same time, even if this response wasn't positive, this is what I had to say. This is what I felt like I had to offer, and what I wanted to leave the planet having said, this is what Chris would say,
Were you nervous at all sharing some of this stuff with people
course.
who kind of knew you as like the thing that you were at the time?
Of course, because you're already established and really good at that, and you're sharing something that I'm still figuring out the balance between, when you're doing music, between a meditative space where you can meditate and not be too distracting. Like the song we just listened to, it's affirmative, and it's a vibe, and it's a beat, but the whole thing is about attracting everything that you need. So I was still trying to find my sweet spot. So the first few times you step out there, you're on shaky legs. You don't know how they're going to respond. You don't know if they're going to like it or hate it. Or you post the song and then, oh, it doesn't have that many likes or that many people listen to it on Spotify. And that tends to, for new artists or any type of artist, that tends to, oh, they don't like it. Let me take it down. People are not responding to it. It didn't sell 1 million copies, and you just get away from all of that, and you just tune into your why. Why did you make it?
And so share with me, like, where's the origin of your either spirituality or this, affirmations, or just like having an inner connection with yourself, with life? Can you share more about how you even got into that?
always been a seeker. I was raised in a Christian home where we had to go to church every Sunday, you know, so there was always music and spirituality in the home I was growing up. I'm from Detroit, so, you know, I'm from a music Motown, from a music city, a music town. So that was always there. But I've always been a seeker. So how I came upon affirmations was hearing somebody talk about positive things that when I first started checking out affirmations, I was just listening to the ones online on YouTube, and I would listen to somebody else's voice, and I was like, you know, I should make my own because I would want to say it like this. And that's how I started. And then I started making my own. Then I was like, I hate my voice. I'd rather listen to this person. Then you got to get more comfortable hearing yourself say these things to yourself. But then you start understanding things about the subconscious and really speaking things that are not as though they were, and the way that words have life. And then I started like just tuning more into it that way. So I've always been a seeker. I've always been a person that's hungry for knowledge, that's open, you know. So that was my journey. And it's still my journey, you know. And it's led me to work with people of different traditions, different faiths, you know. I just did an album with the artist Johnny B. Harrison. I worked on her whole album, and the people with the Hare Krishna faith, and I was turned on to so much beautiful music, being around them and listening to the prayers, listening to those songs. It's like a feeling that it gave me from listening to those, and I didn't even grow up studying that in that faith or in that tradition. I didn't grow up, but just being around songs that are sacred, songs that are meaningful. It always had an effect on me. So yeah.
So awesome. And share, you kind of share the origin of is there a difference between the frequency journeys and the sonic affirmations, or are they part of the same thing?
Frequency journeys for me is just what I call the music that I make. You know, I wanted to take you on a journey in frequency. So sometimes it may start off slow and meditative, and then it goes off into like this one thing. The thing we just heard starts off with affirmations, and then it's a beat, and then there's like the shakers that coming in, you know. So for me, it was a journey. Then there's like this little bass riff and a bass solo. So that's how frequency journey is just what I call the music that I make. I want to take you on a journey that's going to uplift you, but during that journey, you may be scared at points. During the journey, you know, so even the meditative stuff that I have, I'll call it frequency journey. It normally starts off in one place. I did a song recently called Heal, and it starts off with sound bowls, but then it moves over into another sonic space, and then you're there for a minute, and then it may move to a third space. So that's what I was working on. You know, I got into trying to do something different than just hearing. Sometimes I love hearing one track of sound bowls. It's just the whole thing for the whole track. But then I was like, I want to be able to move to different spaces within the dynamics of one song. Within one song, I want to be able to take you to different places. So that's how Frequency Journeys was born. And the Sonic Affirmations is basically the same thing. Somebody give me their affirmations that they spoke, and they tell me the type of things that they like. Some people like nature sounds, sounds of water. So the affirmation may start off with nature sounds and them talking, and then it may move to some tribal drums for a little while with their affirmation, and then it may move to just calming water sounds. So that's what Frequency Journeys is to me. It's like taking you on a sonic journey. You don't know where it's going to start and where it's going to end. It may not be in the same spot, but just having the bravery to do something like that.
Love it. And it's on your website for anybody who wants to go on Chris Sholar. It's chrissholar.com.
Yes.
And experience. It's the same audio track, the same woman saying the affirmations, but with these different beats and backgrounds. So you can...
and I mean, when I do Frequency Journeys for people in Sonic Affirmations, it's in their own voice. So I have like examples with a voice of what it could sound like, but this is your thing made specifically for you. This is exclusively what you want to say. And it's such a sacred space because you have a chance to be, you're open to say, this is what I want to work on. This is how I want to affirm myself. And you give that to me and I score it and give it back to you. You say, "Now listen to that for a month. walk around, listen to it when you do your morning meditation, or when you're doing your walk, or when you're on your way to work. Put that in your ears and see what your month looks like after you've listened to yourself, empower yourself. Because your own voice is the most powerful sound in the universe. The sound of your own voice. You telling yourself what you can do is better than me telling you, so.
That's amazing. And so that's something that people reach out to you for,
Yeah.
whether it's on your website or other things, and they can work with you to craft their own frequency journey, their own sonic affirmations.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thank you.
What's the next project that you have coming out?
So right now I'm just releasing like a song a month. Like I have a song that I just finished that's called Just Breathe, because I was having a rough 2 weeks, and I was explaining to somebody, hey, they said, my friend said, hey, what's going on? And I was telling them it's this and this and this. And he said, wait a minute, just breathe for a second. And I said, yeah, you're right. Then I kept telling them what was going on, but that just breathe, just breathe. So every month I'm dropping a piece of a song that I'm working on. So the next song is coming out at the end of this month, the 31st. It's called Just Breathe. And that's the mantra of the whole song. Just breathe, just breathe. Breathing your way through things. I did Revelation Breathwork, so I know you can breathe your way through your problem. You can talk talk your way through with affirmations, and you can breathe your way through. Sometimes it's not, I don't even have the words to say, but just breathe. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. So that's the next thing I'm working on. Every month I'm going to be releasing a piece of music that's honest, that's a frequency journey, that is where I'm at the time, and I'm just going from there, and letting it guide me to what's the next thing, and doing performances and things like that.
So you're bringing this live?
Yeah, I've been doing like meditative performances of some of my music. Obviously, it pairs well with doing a yoga session. So a lot of times you get calls for those, because it's like in the sound healing area, So yeah.
So can we find that on your website or somewhere? How do
Yeah.
we find your live events?
Yeah, some of the new shows. I got a lot of things coming up this summer. Will be on the website coming up. I need to update it. I'm so glad that I'm gonna hold myself accountable, because like that's one of the other things we're doing. Like, keep everybody updated, keep your socials together. Being an artist and having to create the music and think of all of the other moving parts sometimes is a lot of work when you're doing it yourself. So I'm getting better at keeping everything updated, letting everybody know what's going on, because people want to know. But when you're doing everything yourself, it's sometimes can be a lot. So.
And where can people follow you on socials?
And Chris Sholar, ChrisSholar, on my Instagram, ChrisSholar.com, my website.
YouTube?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel, same thing, Chris Sholar, or Facebook, or it's pretty much Chris Sholar everywhere. I'll pop up and you'll see me. Or you can follow me on the any streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm on these new songs that I'm releasing I'm starting to drop them off once a month on there. So.
I can't wait for Just Breathe and the other ones. I mean, I love that you like how you're releasing these songs is where you're at, and you're like, they inspire where you're at. So it's a very real journey of like, here's what I'm moving through, and maybe it'll serve you to kind of have something as well that helped me. So I think that's so powerful.
Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm working on. It was like, this is what came this month. So here you are.
Dude, you're a trailblazer.
Thank you.
Really, really amazing. The courage, the answering the call is not for the faint of heart, and to step out and to experiment. And there's so much value in what you're sharing in terms of just the next step. What's the next thing? Instead of trying to have it all mapped out so you don't risk failure, it's just like, what's the next thing? Oh, they like that. Let me see. How's that feel for me? You just keep letting it evolve and expand, and we get to receive the fruits of that. So honored to have you. I just want to share one more thing, because this episode was kind of focused on I am everything, but I shared this with you, and I'm now every time I go for a walk, I am everything. That's my go-to. I share with you, for a couple months, every single morning when I woke up, first thing I did, not check the phone, not get the kids ready, I am supported. put it on, listen to it when you're still in, I don't know if it's alpha, beta, theta, whatever state you're in when you just wake up, and you can really receive. So powerful. So I just want to thank you for
Thank you
that
so
one
much
as
for
well.
listening. I appreciate that so much, and it means so much to hear that back because I was doing the same thing. I needed to feel that support for myself to take these steps. So thank you for listening. I really appreciate every person that listens, every person that shares. It really means a lot.
Yeah, as a creator, to hear feedback on your stuff, I think is just so important. So I want to generously praise you
Thank
for
you.
what you're doing, because it's made a real impact. Again, not just for me, but our whole community, and hopefully for more people that hear this and get tuned on to your stuff. So if you guys want your own customized frequency journey sonic affirmation, please reach out to Chris on his website. And Chris, I hope we have either more conversations like this, or we can find some ways to bring Revelation Breathwork and frequency journeys to the world, because I think it's what the world needs.
Yeah, I would love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, Chris.